Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new series of an interview for the Astrological Association conference speaker interview. And today with us is great Christeen Skinner. Hi, Christeen.
Hi, Rod.
Well, so the commercial time first. So if you watch this video before the 31st of May, there's the opportunity you get a big discount, huge discount, up to £200. So don't miss this opportunity. If you haven't registered for our Astrological Association conference, then go to register because there's a huge discount there. And this conference is start from the 28th of August and to the 1st of September. And Christeen, I know you so well, and you know me well, but I think I still want to run it. So always a funny question to start with is, how do you get into astrology?
Oh, Rod, we can't do this one again. It takes forever.
Just give us some little bit of interesting story then.
Okay. So I grew up in Scotland and I went to what's then the Brownies, which is, smaller children before you became a Girl Guide. And my father used to take me up to the church hall. And because it goes dark in Scotland much earlier. So he taught me about to identify the stars and the planets.
Oh, beautiful.
And but as we neared the house on this particular night, as we got close, he said about it that some people, I remember the sentence so well, some people thought that the movements of the planets affected life on Earth. And he was very specific about that. He said it wasn't just people, it was plants and it was animals. But as we approached the house, he said, don't mention any of that to your mother. Right. So I thought that I'd been given, some incredible secret. And I couldn't wait for the next week so I could ask more. And why couldn't I have this conversation with her? You see, right? But the following week, he didn't want to talk about it anymore. He realized I'd got too interested. So I went to the library. And because, of course, being a kid, I hadn't listened properly. So I picked up the word astronomy, not astrology. So I came through the back door. I came in through astronomy and the myths and things. And I was desperate to find out about how could these planets affect life on Earth. And the reason my mother couldn't be told about this is that she was deeply religious. And at that point, not sufficiently aware that you could actually have both of them in your life. You can have astrology and religion, but she didn't realize that then. So anyway, my dad was very, very keen that I should understand, because I went out and I managed to get that book, Teach Yourself Astrology, the Jeff Mayo, and I drew a chart. And I drew the wrong chart for me because I didn't understand about British summertime. So I just took my time at birth, ended up with Aries rising, which didn't seem, I couldn't quite, I didn't understand me then. And then you needed logarithms to work out the whole bit. So I went to school, right, to ask the maths teacher to help me. Well, my God, I ended up being suspended for 2 days for doing this witchcraft thing or whatever, right?
Oh my God!
It was real heavy duty, right? Which of course only meant that I wanted to do it more, right? Because I really wanted to do it, Anyway, then my dad put his foot down. He said, you can't play at this, right? This is something, this has a real spiritual core to it. This is not something you do when you're 18. This is not, you need life. You need to have, you build up your spiritual wealth before you can do this. So that hung around me. I felt I couldn't do it, that it was not wrong, but, it was something that would have to wait, right?
Yes.
I have Uranus natally exact on the IC. So it was always going to come up, wasn't it? I mean, it was always, it was ready. So that's how I got into it, right? Through the back door, through the fact that it had to be done with research, with respect. It wasn't just something you could go and buy the Teach Yourself book and that was it.
Yeah, and I think one particular experience is your father guide you and tell you have to have the maturity of spiritual knowledge.
Yeah.
And that is so important.
Yes, it is. So this talk, in a way, is the culmination, because I've been doing this professionally now since I mean, really properly since 1986. So that had with an overture to it, but let's say from 1986. So I've now got the best part of 40 years of doing this. And in the workshop, because I've gravitated towards financial astrology or business astrology or whatever.
Yes.
But most of the time I'm involved with people. Right? It's not just numbers, it's people, right? And so therefore you get used to their habits and the whole idea of their idea of well-being. So in the workshop, I am going to bring in a couple of asteroids. And believe me, if anybody's saying, oh, I can't do it, right? I didn't want the damn things to be found either, right? I mean, really, we have enough to do with planets. But over the years, I've got a great deal of respect for some of the asteroids, which I now see as being contributory things to talking about how you handle money and how you handle wealth, whether or not it's spiritual, financial, physical, whatever, emotional, all of those things coming together. So the workshop is going to be very much about the people there, bring their own chart, right? And we'll explore some of just what I've learned, right? And put that into that. The talk is very different. The talk's got nothing to do with that, right? The talk has got nothing to do with it. The talk is my other obsession. The talk is kind of on the edge of Pluto in Aquarius, right?
Yeah.
The idea, because I had no idea, right? I bet you, like me, thought the moon was for everybody, right?
Yeah.
There is actually an international space treaty that says it belongs to, right? But actually that's not true, right? And the Chinese have landed on the other side of the moon, right?
Yep.
Now, I don't know, they'd probably put their flag there, right? Now, what happens then if somebody else goes up? I don't know, some South African or somebody goes up and says, well, actually, I want to walk through your bit there. And they say, no, that's our research station. You're not going through there. So they then put up a bit of barbed wire or something and say, you can't go through here. And I can actually see we're setting up a whole thing about potentially the Star Wars, which up until now have just been on my TV screen, but are now potentially, there's a whole world out there. I mean, sorry, it sounds ridiculous, but there's a whole other landscape out there. So I want to explore some of that and the countries that are going to be in the lead. Right? That doesn't include us.
Yeah. Fascinating. Wow. Thank you, Christeen. Because I mean, everyone knows you about your study of the financial astrology and economy. But I know you personally from the, also you are very, very keen to the Mundane Astrology and all the astronomy study. And today I know why, because you are starting astrology from the astronomy. And I'm so looking forward to join you at your workshop, because there's so many things I want to learn about asteroid and dwarf planet that they are fascinating.
It really is. It's really fascinating, the dance they have together and with the other planets, and the approaches we each of us have. It's a wonderful, wonderful world. So it should be a really lovely afternoon. And by the way, I learned that my colleague Rachel Lang, whom I hope you interview, she's coming,
Yes.
and she's going to come and stay with me and we're going to travel up there together. So
cool.
I've got my Sagittarius moon is very, very happy at this international.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Christeen, for taking your time out today to share this information with us and tell us a little bit of story. And just remind everyone, don't forget from 28th of August to the 1st of September, this is the AA annual conference. And then if you register before the 31st of May, there's a huge discount. Don't miss it. And then me and Christeen, we're looking forward to see you there. Cheers. Bye-bye.